Hello and welcome to the EEPROM 9, and we have another Geiger counter, although technically not a Geiger counter because it uses an ionisation chamber, and one that's exposed to the air, as we shall demonstrate. Unfortunately, its built-in meter is broken, and I've already taken it apart and debugged the problem. It's basically the internal coil has burnt out, so there's absolutely no chance in hell of repairing it. It would require a replacement meter, and I even looked at retrofitting a meter like this inside, but the sizes don't quite match to make that work. Not without cutting up and Dremeling Bakelite, and for anyone who knows the composition of Bakelite, it contains asbestos, so it's not really something you want to be grinding up into a dust. Even though I do have the appropriate respirators to wear during such a process, it will contaminate everything in the room, so no. So this is a Radiac Mark III. Now there are two others which I don't have, which were basically built on valve technology, and apparently what the UK government and army did was they decided, rather than chuck out and build new units, it was better to retrofit these with modern electronics. And I will probably do a later teardown video of this thing, but here's what they roughly look like. I haven't got you hooked up to the monitor this time, so yeah, I got the focal plane about right. So we have, on this side, we have our range switch. Well, this is actually our power switch, and also allows you to power it on with the light, which you might be able to see. Oh, you'd have seen the meter move there. And this one is our range switch, which actually internally sets the dial. I'll see if I can demo that to you. So you can change your range, and if you do the other one, to the light on, the light is difficult to see because it's a filament lamp. But the Mark IIIs always have these blue covers on, and then you've got a nice carry handle. These were what the ROC Corps guys would have used before they got the Plessey PDM 85, is it? He's in my bedroom at the moment, so I don't know. You've got a port here, which is for the light bulb, which is actually quite a nice solution actually. You unscrew this here, and then you can pull out the little light bulb to replace it. I blew up the first light bulb because it's only a 1.5 volt bulb, so be careful if you get one of these and trying to test them. Don't just hook it up to a 9 volt battery. On this end we've got the Silica Gel Pack, built into a tube similar to that old 1970s walkie-talkie I did a teardown of many years ago. Then we got another cover we can remove to put an alpha test source in, and interestingly the Americium 241 from smoke alarms can be used to test it. On the bottom we have a panel we can remove, and I'm not going to remove it here because it would take too long, and I really don't fancy doing the editing and all that crap. In fact, actually, yes, I am going to remove it because I want to show you what's under here. Bear with me. Awesome, it's recording. And the focus is about right. So, what you have once you remove this bottom panel is gasketed, so it's fully waterproof. There's this thing. This is basically the kind of detector you use when a nuke falls. So you pop this panel over, move the gamma protection out of the way, and you have a beta window. And this is just a thin bit of plastic. And then behind there is the actual ion chamber. And yes, the ion chambers use high voltage. Now I'm going to put this back on, and I'm going to set this up so you can see, so I can demonstrate it with the my radioactive test source from a smoke alarm. This is why you should take apart your smoke alarm, children, but never eat it. We have removed our little protective port for the alpha window. We will turn it on to back test, and you should see the needle go up to about 8, which you can. Just want to check your recording. Sadly, I can't demo the light, not without turning out the other lights. Then we can turn him on. I'll turn his other lights off. And then we shall get our little radioactive material. The funny thing is, mine arrived on the same day Weapons and Stuff's ones did, which was quite funny. So, when we put this little bit of smoke, and interestingly, the thorium-232 of this lens does not trigger it. So, it's something about smoke alarm alpha sources that really have the effect. Also, I've noticed this, moving my hands over the meters tend to cause them to whittle about like that. That's bizarre. Or is that just the... oh, that's probably because I've opened the port, so it's letting in loads of noise. But if we pop him over, you'll see him creep up to just between the 0 and 2. And as you can see, he has done just that, proving that he actually does work. I don't know what this jiggling about nonsense is all about right now. I'm guessing because it's facing in the direction of my laptop, it's picking up a load of electrical noise or something, because these are very sensitive to things like electrical noise. Now, shall we show you what else came with it? Because it wasn't just the unit itself, and this is more of an overview rather than a teardown. I'll do a teardown at a later date if anyone's interested. But since I've already taken it apart like several times today, I don't fancy taking it apart anymore tonight. Smoke alarms are a good source of sources. That's why I wanted the old smoke alarms. So I'll pause you and we will move to a different position that we can see from. That you can see from, I mean. So the other parts that came with the camera are. Now you can see why my eyes flip off to look at the monitor. The carry case, which is this nice vinyl, lovely carry case that looks absolutely awesome, like made of old school plasticky stuff. Here's the writing on it, try and get it so the light angles, you can see it. Has that lovely old military smell. Interestingly, the coil in the unit actually, why it's blown up, it smells like dried stale piss, which is fun. Something I really like is it came with a full calibration certificate back when this thing was calibrated, and the year of where it was still being used amazed me. I'm not too worried about showing this off because it doesn't have any what would be considered personal information. But it was calibrated on the 26th of August 2003. About the same year my thermal camera is from. And you know, it has a whole number of ranges and stuff that it got tested at. It's pretty damn rad actually. And then the other thing is the little sheet that would go up on the wall in the ROC bunkers. The little instruction booklet. Now the battery's negative actually goes on the outside of the case. I didn't find anywhere it says that, but you can actually run it purely off of 1.5 volt, this modern variant, because it doesn't use the weird ass valve batteries of like a 15 volt, 9 volt, all the weird voltage batteries that you can't get hold of today. And then another thing that's in here is a little key for adjusting the calibration pots, which I think is really cool. You don't normally see stuff like that. So that is actually pretty damn awesome. It's a good job I had a shave. I look a lot more presentable. Although my hair could certainly do with a little more TLC, but we won't worry about that. Yeah, I found that all quite interesting. It's a shame about the gauge on it being dead, which that's basically a non-obtainium part. You basically have to buy a whole new unit to get a gauge. But interestingly, you don't actually have to take it out of the case to do any of the maintenance on the side. It has a little cover you can open to access the controls, which is pretty cool if you ask me. But yeah, that's my video on the Radiac Mark III, and it also goes by the name on it, which is written on it, MD3 1991R. Now that's not actually when it's made. It's made in the late 80s from the date codes on the chips and stuff. Yes, it uses ICs in there. I was quite surprised when I saw that myself. I was expecting it to be all valve because, well, I know the older variants are. I didn't realise they made a solid state variant. But yeah, thanks for watching. Hope that was at least somewhat interesting for you all. I personally find it interesting because I'm obsessed with any radiation detecting equipment. And the fact I can actually get it to measure alpha sources is pretty cool, that you can get a little bit of a dial on the gauge without needing to detonate a nuclear bomb or cause a nuclear power station to go into meltdown, which is very useful because those activities tend to be considered highly illegal. And access is very much restricted to such things to even do such tasks. So it's nice we have a way of triggering it. It's a shame I don't have a way of triggering my Plessly. I just need a shit ton of radioactive items. Thanks for watching.